our guest of honor to us, Mr. Dewase.
Thank you, Madam. May I request that all protocol is observed. My task is to introduce the guest of honor, and in the interest of time, I shall not go beyond the information given. It is indeed my privilege to introduce to you the guest of honor at this ceremony, who is the Deputy Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, Honourable Dr. Kwekwe Graduation, a Member of Parliament for Magunje. Dr. Graduation holds a doctorate, a PhD in Information Systems, Knowledge Management from the University of Stellenbosch in South Africa. He studied for a Master of Science in Strategic Management from Chinhoyi University of Technology and a BSc Honours at the National University of Science and Technology, NUST. Before his appointment as Deputy Minister, Dr. Graduation worked in various organizations as a systems administrator, manager, computer engineer, executive principal director, and management consultant. He was a registrar and acting director general at the Zimbabwe Institute of Public Management, ZIPAM, when His Excellency the President elevated him to be Deputy Minister after winning the Magunje parliamentary seat during the harmonized elections held on 31 July 2018. Dr. Graduation's mission is the development of his constituency, Magunje, and also his ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, and Zimbabwe as a sovereign state. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Kwekwe Graduation to deliver the keynote address at this ceremony. Dr. Graduation, may I humble myself and request you to come and address the graduates and all guests.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dewa. The Director of Ceremonies, the Vice Principal, Mrs. Mapanga, the Principal of Kwekwe Polytechnic, Mr. J.C. Mbudzi, Members of Parliament who might be here present, the Director of Tertiary Programs in the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, Mr. J.T. Dewa, senior government officials here present, service chiefs here present, the mayor or the representative of the mayor of Kwekwe and Redcliffe, if they are present, councillors of the city of Kwekwe here present, chairmen and members of the Kwekwe Polytechnic Advisory Board, heads of tertiary institutions here present, captains of industry and commerce, Kwekwe Polytechnic academic and administrative staff, distinguished guests, parents and guardians, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. A good morning to you all. Mr. Principal, 867 technocrats is not a joke. 800. If we are to round it off, we say 1,000, isn't it? Technocrats. I was listening to his speech, he says technocrats. And Mr. Principal, I agree with you that you are living Zimaset. You are living Zimaset. I'm very elated to be here this morning at the Kwekwe Polytechnic's 32nd graduation and prize-giving ceremony. The fact that you have all suspended and sacrificed your busy schedules to be present here is a source of inspiration to the graduates who are celebrating their achievements. I'm gratified by the theme of your graduation and the prize-giving ceremony, which is beyond the information given, which focuses on education and training for productive employment. It sums up the nation's economic blueprint, the Zimbabwe Agenda for Socio-Economic Transformation, ZIMASET, whose raison d'etre is an empowered society and a growing economy. Ladies and gentlemen, technical and vocational education and training, TVET, is the engine of economic growth and the master key to development in any society. Polytechnics are strategically tasked to produce human capital with the relevant skills that are required for driving industry and commerce. Leonardo Quinsbing, a TVET technocrat, once said, and I quote, "If education is the key to development, vocational and technical education is the master key that opens the door to the world of work and the economy, alleviate poverty, save the environment, and improve the quality of life." TVET is both democracy and power. It is democracy because it liberates the learner or the trainee from the bondage of ignorance and illiteracy. It is considered power because it brings technological superiority, thereby breeding competitiveness and productivity to a country. Unfortunately, the technology here in Zimbabwe has traditionally been imported lock, stock, and barrel owing to the country's colonial legacy. The country's industry therefore survives on technology created by other people and nations. This dependency on other people's technology has caused the country serious problems of having to rely on archaic machinery, which has caused the headaches when it breaks down due to lack of spare parts that have to be imported. It is the fundamental fact that the country cannot develop on this basis. It is against this background that my ministry established the BTech programs in major polytechnics as part of arresting technology importation. The thrust of the BTech program is endogenous technology creation for local challenges using local resources. This is what Kwekwe Polytechnic is doing. Students are solving local challenges using local resources, thereby improving productivity in industry. I repeat, this college is living Zim asset. Surely they are living Zim asset, because when I took a tour to the workshop, I discovered most of the things they are doing are solving Zimbabwean challenges. I'm happy to say that the current BTech programs that you are running, Mr. Principal, augur well with the government's thrust on industrial development. The role that industry plays in making contributions to the economy can only be realized through a vibrant training system, such as yours, that consistently churns out superior qualified human capital that can idealize, design, manufacture, and install appropriate technology. Has taken the bull by its own. I'm reliably informed that the caliber of BTech students you produce really go beyond the information given, thereby firmly embracing and incorporating Zim assets' main aim of addressing the country's socio-economic challenges. I must commend your needs-based training system, which is a radical shift from the traditional theory based on training systems. Your industry-based projects have turned challenges into new systems, new technologies, and new products in companies such as Mimosa, Zimasco, Rio Tinto, Bimco, Zimplo, Tantan, Sable Chemicals, and ZETDC, just to mention but a few. This work is highly commendable, Mr. Principal, as you positively impact on the industrial value chain, which is imperative for the principal recovery of the manufacturing sector and other allied sectors of our economy. Director of Ceremonies, we should always learn to do things on our own. We should always learn to do things on our own. consistent with the objectives of the agenda we have designed ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to quote from renowned automobile maker Dr. Ferdinand Porsche, who said, I quote, "I could not find the sports car of my choice, hence I built it myself," close quote. The innovations we have done as Kwekwe Polytechnic and continue to do in industry, the buildings we have put up, including this pavilion, your college clinic and other among your stakeholders, the networking of your workshops, all done by students of this institution using their own resources, resonate well with Dr. Fernandina Poche's sentiments and are a clear testimony of how you have taken the country's agenda into your own way doing things. You are highly zematized institution, and we encourage you to continue on this road of development. I'm also informed that you offer training in a wide area of short courses, training in your small and medium enterprises division. This is highly commendable as the government has realized that small, micro, medium enterprises are an important engine for employment creation and economic growth, given the sector's high labor to capital ratio. This comes in handy at a time when the country is affected by significant unemployment and widespread underemployment levels, while the quality of available jobs seem to be poor. I'm aware that the public funding of higher and tertiary education is a very complex matter and has been a perennial challenge. As you may know, tertiary educational institutions are dependent on the fiscal for their capital and recurrent expenditures. Given the liquidity crunch the economy is currently experiencing, the provision of instructional materials, tools and equipment, adequate physical, human and financial resources for a TVET-based curriculum has been a far cry from the ideal. The challenges faced in the provision of higher and tertiary education, ladies and gentlemen, are not for the government alone, but need to be addressed through collective efforts. What is required is concerted and collaborative efforts on the part of my ministry and development partners and stakeholders on the other. I'm further informed that the institution has acquired an electronic granary, the e-library, that exposes the students to a wide range of e-books, thus harnessing e-learning. I urge you to use this facility to enhance research and development and go beyond the information given. It was with satisfaction that I learned that the institution makes deliberate efforts to encourage the girl child to take up courses, particularly in engineering fields that were historically perceived to be male dominions. I'm also informed of your massive career guidance program that encourages the girl child to take up engineering career paths. As Brigham Young once said, "You educate a man, you educate a man. You educate a woman, you educate a generation." As such, if you educate a girl, you are not doing it for one person, but you are doing it for her community. To all the graduates here present, Kwekwe Polytechnic has given you 3 valuable gifts, which are knowledge, skills, and the right attitudes to face the challenges of the world. I say you are victors, you are conquerors in the making, but I still have yet another challenge for you. The certificates you will earn today should inspire you to continue on the endless journey of learning. Remember, it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. As the philosopher Aristotle wrote, and I quote,
The roots of education are bitter, but the fruits are sweet. Continue to set goals in your academic life. In conclusion, let me urge you, the graduates, to desist from weak habits of being involved in premarital or extramarital affairs or infidelity, lest you perish as a result of contracting HIV and AIDS. Remember, you have a responsibility to save your family and the nation. Graduates, take heed. Frederick W. Robertson once said, instruction ends in the schoolroom, but education ends only with life. Makoroko top. Congratulations and top. I thank you.
Our Honourable Deputy Minister.